Amazon KDP is changing. There's a lot of new strategies that are coming up nowadays, and I honestly think this is making the business model even better. Many people are taking advantage of these new strategies and making a lot of money already. So whether you're just getting started with Amazon KDP or you've been in it for a while, in this video I'm going to show you what I think is the new best way to build this business right now. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Sean and I've made over 7 figures in royalties from my own books, as well as I've helped over 2,000 people in my private community to make money with KDP. So Amazon KDP absolutely changed my life, and I genuinely think that it's one of, if not the best business model for beginners to get started with. And the reason why I think that is because, number one, you're selling a digital product. Compared to physical products or selling a service, it's way simpler and easier for beginners to get started, plus you have higher profit margins. Number two is you're selling on Amazon, the world's biggest retailer. And that comes with a lot of perks like existing traffic of people shopping on Amazon and Amazon doing a lot of things for you like shipping, fulfillment, even customer service. So I think this is a great business model, but before I go and talk about the new way of building this, I want to quickly just add that nothing I say is financial advice and I'm not guaranteeing any results. Although I made a lot of money in this, my students are making a lot of money in this, the examples I will show you in this video are real. That doesn't mean that I am guaranteeing that you will also make money from this. I'm just a random guy on YouTube, so please do your due diligence. I'm adding this because my channel is getting bigger and a lot of people are starting to misunderstand what I'm trying to say, right? This is a real business and a real business takes time. I'm not promoting, a get rich quick scheme or anything like that, okay? So if you want to read the full disclaimer, it's in the description. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So Amazon KDP is changing. Before, people took the volume approach. They published a ton of books, each book making a little bit of money, and people were like, oh, well, if one book makes 10 bucks a month, that means I need 1,000 books to make $10,000 a month, right? So they just kept pumping out a volume of books. And this caused Amazon to get more and more strict on the content being submitted because obviously there's no way, people who are publishing one book a day or multiple books a day is making sure each book is good, right? So the quality was kind of low and people were just pumping out low quality books. So Amazon had to be more strict because of that. So that was the old approach, but the new approach is that I think one book can be enough. And I say can because I'm not guaranteeing results. Once again, like sometimes you need a couple books to find that home run book that's going to, make a couple $1,000s or just blow up, right? And you can, do very well with that. But the difference between KDP before and now is that the quality of the book scales significantly faster than volume of book. So what I mean by this is, let's say you want to hit 10K per month. It's actually easier to just make a really, really high quality book, just one, and then scale that because of the quality instead of trying to make a bunch of books. It's actually easier to focus on quality. And this is great because it aligns with Amazon's goal of selling high quality products and making the customer happy. So you're doing what Amazon wants. And for that reason, Amazon will push your book even more because again, they only want to promote high quality stuff. So now that we have that understanding, let me walk you through step by step. If I was getting started with Amazon KDP right now, how I would build this business. So step one is topic research. So the concept of topic research wouldn't change much, right? It doesn't change much. You have to find a topic that is proven to sell, right? That's the same. I've been preaching this on my channel for a very, very long time, right? Because writing a book no one wants is an absolute waste of time. And this is actually a pretty common mistake a lot of people make is they go and create a book on a topic that no one's interested in. They did zero market research. They just came up with the idea and they're like, oh, this is a cool idea. No one else is doing it. Well, if no one else is doing it, it's most likely because it's not profitable. It's not because you are this genius that, thought of something no one else thought of, right? Like the chance is there, but most likely it's the first option. So you have to go and find a topic that has existing demand. But what I think changed when it comes to, topic research is that I think finding a topic that is both profitable and you are passionate about or somewhat interested in learning is becoming more important because one of the fastest ways or the best ways to market your book right now is posting content on social media. So social media marketing is becoming more and more effective nowadays, and it's much easier to show up and talk about your book if you like the topic or if you're interested in learning, right? So, if you know about the topic, it's obviously easier to show up and talk. Like the way I do it, with Amazon KDP as a topic on my YouTube channel, it's easy to talk about because I know a lot about it and I have a lot of experience and I like the topic, right? But it'll be a lot harder to, talk about, let's say like makeup or something like that because I have no experience or interest in the topic, right? So, I do think having a mixture or balance of profitability and passion is more and more important now. As an example, for this author, the way he does social media marketing is literally just show up and talk about his book every single day. He talks about whatever topic that is related. He shows the book and tell people you can buy this book on Amazon or TikTok shop, wherever he's selling. And obviously this will be tricky if you're not interested in the topic or if you have no experience. If you're at least interested in the topic, even if you have no prior experience, you can learn, right? And then you can teach. So it's not really an issue if you're not an expert right now, but at least you should be interested and willing to learn about the topic so you can go and make videos like this. Now, if you're like, oh, I don't want to show up in front of the camera and make videos like this, don't worry. There are no-face ways of doing it. Like, this brand right here, he publishes children's books, right? And he is pretty much 100% no-face. So you can do it that way too, if you want to. But since posting content is something you will consistently do over time, I think it is important to at least be somewhat interested in the topic. With that being said, this is not a mandatory thing, right? Like you can still go into a topic, that you're not interested in, right? And just because it's profitable, and a lot of people do this, a lot of people take that approach and still make a lot of money. So the old way still works, but I think moving forward, it's going to slowly shift to this new way of doing it. Another change in the topic research section is that I believe going into low competition niches is less important. Okay, so I'd rather go into a high competition, high demand topic than a low competition, low demand topic. A lot of times people try to avoid competition, so they go and search for keywords that are very, very low competition, but also they niche down so much to where it's not that profitable, and they try to compete there. But if you do that, then you have no potential to going viral because the interest in the topic is very, very low. So, if you start doing social media marketing, the biggest thing is the ability to go viral, right? Your videos getting millions of views and your book sales just explodes. So for that to happen, you have to kind of be in a topic that is somewhat big, like mass market, right? So for that reason, I want the topic to be big enough to have viral potential. And this is not going to happen if the niche is too small. As an example, we have this author who's also doing social media marketing, and he has a book on anxious attachment workbook. So this is a pretty big niche. It's also trending nowadays. And he has some videos that are going, semi-viral on social media. And for that reason, this one book is doing a couple $1,000s per month. This is another example of someone going into kind of a mass market topic, right? Learning Spanish is a huge mass market topic. And she went absolutely viral on social media. And just from these two books, she's making a lot of money, right? This one book is doing $2,000 per day, and this other book is doing $300 per day. So that wouldn't happen if you're in a super tiny niche. So that's what I mean by this. And I just want to add that the secret is not doing social media marketing. In fact, there is a way to use social media marketing, the power of social media marketing, and the potential of going viral without posting any content yourself, which I'll show you later on in this video. So to recap, I think going into high demand topics will be more beneficial from now on. And the method to find high demand topics is the exact same. I'm not going to show you in this video because I have many other videos that shows you how to do this. So if you need help with topic research, again, check out my other videos, or you can consider joining my coaching program. It's the first link in the description. So once you find a profitable topic that hopefully you are interested in or passionate about, now you move on to step 2, which is to create the book. So the main thing with the book production phase is to create a great book, right? High quality, because this is something that I've been preaching for a long time. But the good news is there are ways to make this process much easier now. So what changed from before to publishing now is obviously AI. AI is getting smarter and smarter, over time, and it's making the publishing process faster, cheaper, and better if you know how to use it. If you use it the wrong way, obviously it's not going to work, but if you do it the right way, it's absolutely amazing. So many of the books that are crushing it now are super simple to make. So going back to this book, right? This is a standard high content book. It has a lot of text, some images inside. So inside looks like this, which again, it has a lot of text. And traditionally we use ghostwriters to create a book like this. But the good news is now there are ghostwriting companies that uses human ghostwriters, but they allow the human ghostwriters to use a AI book writing software that they have. So now it's faster to create the book, but also they offer it cheaper, right? Half the cost because they are using AI, so it's easier for them too. So the cost of ghostwriting actually is lower now compared to before, which is kind of crazy. And that's just with a high content book example, right? If you don't want to do a book with a bunch of text like this, you can do like a guided journal type of book, something like this. This is a book that also did extremely well on social media, right? Doing a couple $100 a day. And the inside looks like this. It's a pretty standard guided journal, that you basically just add a bunch of journal line and some journal prompts, and that is it, right? So this is something you can easily make, if you know what you're doing. And if you want a tutorial on how to create a book like this, I do have this video. I'll leave a link in the description. It's a video on how to create blank line journals, not guided journals, but the only difference really is you just add extra content like designs and, some text around the journal lines. So that is all you have to do. Or if you don't want to deal with creating these books yourself, that's another good change that's happening nowadays, is that there's a lot of Fiverr gigs that'll make these books for you. So I'll leave a link to some of them that you can try out, but this gig will create an entire book like this for you, right? And it looks pretty good. And this is another gig. She will essentially do the same thing. She'll create a book cover as well as some interior pages. So when it comes to the question of should you use a pen name or a real name, I used to say that it doesn't matter, right? You can use a pen name, you can use a real name, it doesn't matter. But I'm starting to recommend using your real name more or using a brand name, because if you're going to talk about your book on social media, if you're going to show up on camera talking about social media, right? Obviously you can do it no face, but let's say you want to, show your face and stuff. If you're going to do that, I think using your real name or a brand name would be more natural. Like if you have a completely different pen name, and you're showing up talking about it, it'll be kind of weird. So that might be a small factor to consider, especially let's say you have a, female pen name, but you're a dude, right? Then it'll be hard to show up on camera talking about it. Although it's possible, people do it all the time. So, there's always a way around it. But for the most natural, smoothest way, I think just using your real name or using a brand name will be a little bit easier. All right, so now that you did topic research, you created the book, right? Step 3 is to upload the book on Amazon KDP. And this process nothing really changes. So you can follow my step-by-step tutorial. The link is in the description. You just upload your book and, after a couple days of review, it'll be live on Amazon. You'll become a published author. So once it's live on Amazon, you go to step 4, which is launching the book. So before, with the old Amazon KDP method, launching the book properly was very, very important, because that is how the Amazon algorithm reward your book and ranked your book high up in page 1. You had to really get as much sales and reviews as possible in the first 30 days while you have the honeymoon period. And if you didn't do a proper launch, so if you didn't get sales and reviews within the first 30 days, oftentimes what happened is the book dies, right? Amazon drop it to page 5, 10, 20 and it never comes back. But I don't think this is the case anymore, because the Amazon's algorithm changed. It was updated. And now you can re-rank your book even if the initial launch failed. So even if you don't do any promotion for the first 30 days and the book is ranked in page 5, 10, 20, very, very low. If you just start getting reviews and sales for the book, oftentimes I see books coming back up and eventually ranking on page 1 if you start marketing it, right? Provided, as long as you have a great book in a high demand topic. If you don't have a great book, nothing you do matters, because if you don't have a great book, you're not going to make sales. It's not going to move up the ranking. Or if you're not in a high demand topic that people are buying books in, then obviously no matter what marketing you do, no one's going to buy it. And again, it's not going to move up the ranking. So this is not me saying that you don't have to do a launch. The launch is still the best case scenario. You should do it. But it's not a, if the launch fails, you're doomed. Like, it's not like that. If the launch fails, your book is never going to recover. Like, a lot of people have that mindset, but that is not the case. You can always come back from it, which is great, right? So ongoing marketing is more important now. It's not about what you do in the first 30 days. It's about what kind of marketing you do consistently over a long period of time. To recap, once again, the first 30 days, you get preferential treatment because Amazon's putting you in what's called a honeymoon period. So you want to get as many reviews and sales as possible. The first thing you need to do is to get reviews. The good news is getting reviews is also getting easier now, because there's sites like Book Bounty that allows you to get reviews very, very easily, right? So I made videos on this before, so you can go and watch that video. But if you want to check out Book Bounty, it's one of the easiest ways to get reviews. I'll leave a link to this site in the description below for you guys to check it out. And as for marketing the book, right, social media marketing is great, but Amazon ads is also a great option. If you want a Amazon ad tutorial that is step-by-step, then I have a video on this. I'll leave a link in the description. What I recommend is you do Amazon ads first. And once your book starts converting on Amazon ads and you have proof that your book converts and it sells, then you take it to social media marketing and scale it further, right? So in terms of what kind of videos, you want to make, oftentimes the best videos are essentially these ones, just like showcasing your book and talking about it, right? So if you look at all the top brands selling books on TikTok and, other social media platform, it's always these ones. So that is what I recommend. to recap, the entire publishing process doesn't change much besides a small tweak in the approach as we talked about, right? But this is where it gets different. So at this point, you published a book, you got reviews, you're marketing it, you're making money from the book. Most people will go and start working on the next book and the next book and the next book and so on, right? They're repeating this process. But instead, now you can take this one book that you created and you can scale it even further, right? So instead of making more books and, kind of like having a bunch of books and taking the volume approach, you can scale this one book even more and just explode it. And that is by using TikTok Shop. So if this one book that you published is selling well at this point, right? It's converting on Amazon ads. You're posting some videos, getting some sales back to Amazon, and you're making money. I would say if you're doing like $500 to $1,000 a month from this one book, right? Which is, very possible. A lot of people are doing it, right? If you're doing that, I think that is a good enough sign that you can scale it with TikTok Shop and try to go for 10K per month just with this one book. So the best and fastest way to scale your book right now is using TikTok Shop because you can recruit other people to sell your books. And again, most top books on Amazon is doing this now. Until I started researching TikTok Shop and finding, top books on TikTok Shop, did I realize that most top books on Amazon are getting traffic and getting the push from TikTok Shop. Again, most, not everyone, but most top brands are doing TikTok Shop right now. And this is how they're scaling. So let me show you some real examples. Okay, so we have this brand, The Inner Work. This is the first book that I showed you earlier in this video. Well, they were actually on TikTok Shop, and you can see that they made over $90,000 in revenue in the last 90 days. And out of that, 74,000, which is 80% or more, came from affiliates, other people posting content for them. These are the affiliates, right? So you're not making sales for yourself. You're doing that too, but you have a lot of other people posting content and making sales for you, which is pretty amazing. This is the other brand that I showed you earlier. This is the Anxious Attachment Workbook that they're publishing. And this brand did over $288,000 in the last 90 days. Most of it came from affiliates, right? So affiliate revenue, 99%, as you can see here. So 99% of your revenue came from people posting content about you. Like we have affiliates making $54,000, another affiliate doing $23,000 in sales for you. It's just insane. This is the other brand that I showed you. This one is the language learning books, right? So literally every single brand that I showed you in this video were backed by TikTok Shop. They're doing TikTok Shop, right? So in the last 90 days, they did $900,000 in revenue. $894,000 came from affiliates. 99% of their revenue came from affiliates, other people posting content about them. And this is another brand, so questions about me, $545,000 in revenue. Again, most of the revenue came from affiliates, other people posting content. These are all the affiliates, and these are the books that they are publishing. This is the guided journal book that I showed you earlier. So now you have an army of people creating content for you, and this is how you can tap into the power of social media marketing and scale it without even creating the content yourself. And this is how you build a real business that runs on its own. So if you're curious about how TikTok Shop works, I do have a complete step-by-step tutorial on how it works and how you can get started with this. So I have a link in the description and you guys can go and check out this video. So the reason why I think this change is so much better than before is because number one, you need less books to make a good amount of money, right? It's a simpler business because, the less products you have and the more you can focus on just a couple of books that you have, it makes the business a lot simpler. You have higher upside leveraging other creators, right? Before, making 100K in a month just from your book was insane. Like no one has done it before. And now a lot of people are doing it because of the power of social media and leveraging other creators to boost your book, right? And you have the viral potential of social media. Another great thing about social media marketing is that it's free, right? You don't have to spend money to get into this. TikTok Shop, you do have to invest a little bit, but if you're just like talking about posting content on TikTok, for yourself, then that's completely free. And that's another way to market your book that is getting effective, right? And you can build a real brand that you can sell. So a lot of people know that I sold my first account for $820,000. But if you go and, build out your TikTok Shop area, your team that's posting content for you in social media, that'll increase the value of your business significantly. And you can potentially sell for a good amount, hopefully more than how much I sold my first account for. And I think this is just a start, right? So social selling is taking over marketing. Right now, TikTok is working, but YouTube, Instagram, other platform, they all have their own shop, right? You can literally just, do YouTube shop and go and buy something. It's just that it's not as popular as TikTok shop, and it's not as effective as TikTok shop. So a lot of people are worried about, oh, what happens if TikTok, gets banned, right? Because it's a Chinese company or this and that. If TikTok gets banned, right? What's going to happen is the short form content viewers, they're not going to go away. They're just going to go to another platform and they're going to continue their activity. They're not going to disappear. So, they're just going to go to YouTube or Instagram, whatever is the next best place to watch shorts or those kind of videos. And so you just switch over there and you start selling your book there. So people are not going to stop buying from social platform. Again, this is just a trend that is starting, and I think it's going to keep growing for a very, very long time. So learning how to do this right now would be a very good knowledge and skill to have. So my final thought is that publishing one or a couple great books, then you scale that with TikTok shop, let influencer push sales, I think is the most linear, fastest way to scale your publishing business right now. Again, I want people to understand that this is not me saying that you just need to create one book, because your first book is probably gonna suck, right? So what I'm saying is that you just need one great book. And to get to that one great book that is a home run, you might have to practice with a couple books. You might have to, publish multiple books that are crappy, but you improve your skills over time. And then you finally get to that one amazing book that's gonna blow up, right? So maybe you need a couple books, but hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. And this strategy doesn't require being on camera or going viral yourself. And I think it's a simpler, faster, and more cost-effective publishing model that anyone can follow. So the biggest challenge for most people is identifying an actual profitable topic, right, to go into, and knowing how to create a high quality book. Because a lot of people say, oh, my books are good, why is it not selling? And I take a look at it and it's not that great, right? The book cover sucks, the title is really bad, the content's not good, those kind of things. So knowing how to create a high quality book is an issue. And also learning how to scale that with different marketing strategies in TikTok shop. If you want a complete step-by-step guidance as well as personal coaching, then I do have a Amazon KDP coaching program. You can check out the first link in the description, get to a page like this, apply for a free strategy call, and see if this program is a good fit for you. And just a disclaimer that this is a paid coaching program. We don't work with those looking for a get-rich-quick scheme, right? We don't work with entitled or rude people, and we don't work with people that we genuinely don't think we can help. So if you guys are interested in learning more, then you can check out the first link in the description, as well as all the tools and resources that I recommend for your publishing business is also in the description below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.